Hello, just do practicing, Gabriel. Nice to meet in person for the first time,
Nice to
even though
finally
it's
meet you in
through Zoom.
person.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I feel like I've done this, hundreds of times with you, but I
yeah.
suppose I suppose it's I
I
suppose
hear
it's
that.
your
I hear
it's
that.
your first time. Yeah.
Well, no, I've seen your videos as well
Oh,
because, of
true.
course, it's. I've watched all your recaps or your progress
Oh, okay.
reports with
Nice.
much interest. It's the first time that somebody does this. I've met, of course, many people during the years who've watched my content
Yeah.
or went to my Patreon or bought a book, but I've never seen this like this, like somebody actually working on that stuff live. It's very interesting to see, and then
Yeah.
doing that every day and then sharing their thoughts. It's very interesting to see, and it's also makes me think about what could be better about my methodology
Mm.
or how I progressed myself. So
Yeah. I'm surprised no one else has stuff like this. I mean, people film all sorts of crazy stuff, and they've been doing, filming themselves for 24 hours and doing vlogs.
true,
And
yeah.
I looked around for people to watch them practice just for motivation, right? Because you only see everyone's highlights, and it can be pretty horrible to go and sit there with your own instrument. And yeah, I had this idea years ago, and finally, just 6 months
Well,
ago,
it takes a lot
decided to
of work
try
to
it.
do it. First of all, you have to do it if you commit to that, right? You have to
Yeah,
do that every day and
yeah,
or at least very regularly. Another thing is, of course, practicing is not. If you're not a musician and you don't, not even like not a musician, but not even like just a jazz musician. If you're not a jazz musician or another improvising musician like a bluegrass musician, it's very hard to understand what is happening when somebody is practicing that. It
yeah,
seems like they're stopping all the time,
yeah.
making silly mistakes, playing the same thing a hundred times, and there seems to be no coherent thing happening. So I understand that not a lot of people want to broadcast that.
I'll tell you for the first time. So I started it, like I said, 6 months ago, and pretty quickly I got used to just like letting go and just practicing. Like
Right.
I'm still very aware of the camera, but but for the first time, I think it was yesterday, I did something that I really didn't want to show,
Okay.
and I was like, man, it's rhythm, it's rhythm practice,
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because
Okay.
because I don't know, it's one thing to like it's expected that you'll sit there and struggle with phrases. I'm now adopting the correct terminology.
No, you can say licks, but
Yeah,
it's
but so I played rhythm in a gypsy jazz band a long time ago, probably like 6, 7 years ago, and I don't think I ever did it correctly. But so I knew, it's been on my list of things to get to for a long time, and yeah, I'm like, I should really work on this. But I'm like, it's gonna suck so bad, and it does. Like
okay.
I watched myself yesterday because when I make the chapters in the videos, it's actually a great time
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
to review.
True. Yeah.
Like I don't watch that much, but I was trying to find, I try to find the end point of one section, the beginning of another section. And yesterday I caught a little bit of my rhythm, and then I kept watching, and I was like, this is really bad. like, like maybe I should cut this out. But yeah, no, that's all that
But
works enough.
it's if it's bad. I mean, if you only broadcast things that are good, of course, then
It
you're not
defeats the
practicing
purpose,
anything.
right?
But still, even I have practiced a couple of times live in a stream. But
Mhm.
it's the thing is though, a lot of my videos I am kind of practicing in the sense that I'm demonstrating a concept that is also new to me. All
It
right,
must be.
and sometimes
Put out
yeah,
so
and then
much stuff.
and then I'm struggling with it myself, of course, because
Mm.
okay, now I'll play two choruses and will only play the -6, something like that.
Yeah,
That is very difficult because then I have to play that, but I also cannot play anything else,
Mhm.
and that's not natural for me. So then often I make mistakes or something suffering. So when people meet me live, I usually play much better than they
yeah,
think I
yeah,
play
yeah.
because then I don't have to demonstrate this one concept that I'm only
Right,
practice that week for that
right.
video. So it's like exposing yourself that way
Mm.
could be you just practicing or me just trying to demonstrate something. It gives a very weird picture of what you are capable. It could be both ways, right? It could
Yeah,
be, like you said, I'm practicing this solo and I can play it now. And people see it like, oh, this guy can really improvise great
yeah, yeah.
solos.
I'm like,
Uh,
hold on, wait a minute. Go check out,
yeah.
the last 3 months where I was,
So, but for me,
trying
it's the other way
desperately to get it
around.
down.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's exactly the other way around. But I applaud you for doing it because, like you said, it's a very good way to also you what's the word? It makes you do. You can't stop do it, right? You have to do it. Accountability, right?
Yeah.
Accountability.
It's a great accountability system.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird because it doesn't really matter. Like, there aren't that many. Okay, first of all, no one's watching. Like, the average watch time on each video is like normally less than a minute, which is totally fine. Like, that wasn't the point. But like for myself, like if I look at my page and there's like a day that I skipped, I can see, and it bothers me. Like, I want this wall of consistency. So it's a
very
great
good
accountability system. Yeah.
It's very good. Actually, when I was young, I had lessons with classical violin lessons with very strict teachers, right? It was free. And we were selected.
Nice.
There was a couple of children selected to be having these lessons with very high level teachers because they wanted, because the Netherlands didn't really have great soloists like other countries. So they thought, let's do this. Let's pick 10 kids and let's try to make them soloists. But then the accountability was that we had to write down in an agenda form, like how long we practiced, what we practiced. You cannot really fake that, right? You cannot fake that because there's a system to practicing. So if you start faking it, of course you could do it, but it's kind of like this, right? Before YouTube was there. Probably now, if they do it, say you have to film yourself every day and upload it, and they just check if you made the time. Like, we had to practice 4 to 6 hours.
That's it. Okay, so you've mentioned, when you reviewed my last progress report, you mentioned that 2 hours is not that long. I am so aware that, like, I consider 2 hours the bare minimum. Like, there are comments, one of the nicest things about the channel is the comments.
Right.
And a lot of people are like, I can't believe you do 2 hours. And I just can't help but think, no, I'm only doing 2 hours. Like, this is barely enough. Like, as is, it's going to take me forever. So I know you did 6 to 8 hours. Apparently, I'm at my limit with 2 hours because my fingers got a little stiff. But yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
Amazing to hear.
Most people practice much less than 2 hours. Most people, let's say more than 90% of the people that I meet that play an instrument practice much less than 2 hours, right? So you're already in the top 5%. But
still,
the thing is,
they're not playing gypsy jazz, man. Like, if you want to play gypsy jazz.
Yeah, but also those people. But that's why there are so many people that really play pretty badly. They've been playing for decades.
Right.
And I meet them all the time. I think in the workshops. These people, they're very enthusiastic. They have a nice guitar.
Yeah.
They really love this music. They travel to the festivals, and then they start playing, and it sounds pretty bad. Like, everything about it is bad, right? The sound, the technique, the timing, mostly the timing, but also the vocabulary, the knowledge of the tunes. But they love it. They love it. And then they tell me, I've been playing for 40 years.
Right.
And then I always ask them, like, so how long do you practice every day? And they say, well, I try to practice 3 times a week. And here's the thing. It doesn't matter if you do it for 40 years, 3 times a week. You're probably never going to get past this line where it goes from amateur to pretty good.
Right.
And that line is so hard to pass. I think you'll get there with 2 hours a day. But then there's this other line, which goes from pretty good to professional. That line can only be crossed, in my opinion, in my experience, by practicing another 4 hours, a day.
Look, believe me, I am very aware of it. Like, I'm very aware. Like, I'm not patting myself on the back for 2 hours a day at all. So I met Antoine Boyer. Is that it? Boyer. He was here in South Korea. He knows some of the guys here, and
yes, his wife is South Korean, right?
Oh, okay. I don't know. That was the only time.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, she could be. And I asked him, like, so, like, how much do you play? Practice a day? And he said 8 hours. And I wasn't practicing at all at that point. I was just kind of, and I heard that, and I was walking home, and I thought to myself, I'm not going to put in 8 hours a day. and I didn't touch my guitar for a year and a half after that.
Yeah.
I was like, if I want to, if I want any hope of getting better, I'm going to have to, maybe not 8 hours, but a significant amount of time, not willing to do it at that point. So I'm like, I guess, what's the point? And so here I am.
But 8 hours is misleading. And also when I say it, it's a little bit misleading because it sounds like, it's 2 o'clock or so, like it's 12 o'clock. Let's start the timer like you do it, right? And so, it's 6 o'clock. I've done 6 hours, but that's not how it goes. In fact, I estimate that some days I practice much more than that because I just practice all day.
Right.
I get up. Before I do anything, I have guitars everywhere. Like in this room already.
That's cool. Yeah.
3, 4. I have 5 guitars. Downstairs, I have another 3 guitars. There's guitars everywhere. So the first thing I do when I get up is actually, because I'm thinking about music also all the time.
Yeah.
Could be for a gig, but could also for my channel, could be for a new book, could be for anything. So I'm thinking, I need to, and then I get my guitar and I start playing. I always say, let's do this for 10 minutes. Then I'm doing it for 2 hours already. Bam, 2 hours is gone. Right? And I didn't even notice it. It's like, it's time for coffee. Then I drink some coffee. Let's go back to this thing. So it's not a plan like I'm going to practice 6 hours.
Right.
It's just I want to do all of this stuff, and it just takes me. Could be 10 hours. It could be much more. And that's the difference when you're a child. When I was a kid and I had to practice 4 to 6 hours, and it was classical, it's also different. The teachers had to give me you have to do these 4 etudes. You have to do bar 22 to 35 of the Tchaikovsky concerto. You have to do these scales, and they made sure it would take me 4 to 6 hours of practicing a week long to make progress with it. But now, especially when you practice jazz or any music that you have to figure out stuff yourself, you have to just really love it, and want to figure it out.
I keep considering kind of increasing my practice time because I have some other things and other similar projects and time commitment wise, but I just burn out after 2 hours, and now I'm on this whole thing where I want to record every moment, which may end up being limiting, but and I can't do 2 sessions because, and maybe this is an excuse, but I don't download the videos to my computer. The only reason I do this,
right?
The only way I can do this is with a GoPro because it's straight to the GoPro cloud, and then it has share, it goes straight to YouTube because these things are 40. These things are 40 gigs.
Yes,
2-hour files.
Yeah,
my computer will melt in front of me if I try.
Well, you could do it streaming, of course. You could stream to YouTube.
I thought of that. Yeah, So there's a reason I'm not in my practice room because my internet, for some reason, just doesn't work. It sucks in there.
Okay,
Anyway, I've got all these excuses, but for now, I'm also trying to take it slow because I know that this is it's still a very new habit. And every time I'm on a roll with something and I try to add a bunch of bells and whistles to it, it all falls apart. So I'm like, okay, 2 hours, and even that's a struggle, right? Because I didn't grow up, playing 40.
No, I understand it completely,
which is awesome. But so here we are. So I'm hoping
I have some questions.
Oh yeah.
Okay, sorry. This is the delay always. I have some questions for you. I guess you also have questions for me.
Yeah.
Right. So. Also, because maybe people are watching, of course, a video on YouTube later, and they might not know you. They might not have seen the previous video in which I reacted to you.
Okay.
So, I wanted to ask you some questions about you and gypsy jazz or jazz or guitar. So, what is your history with playing gypsy jazz guitar?
So, I played. I want to say this in air quotes. I played violin in middle school and high school. Did not practice. I was there's not a chair lower than second violin, but there should be. All right, they should have had me in the wings.
No. In youth orchestra, sometimes there's a third violin. There is sometimes, yes.
I was definitely beyond, below third violin. So I just kind of did it to do it. At some point, I think it's the same with everyone. At some point, I saw Sweet and Low Down.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Right, the Woody Allen movie. And I was it just hit me. I was like, this is amazing. I need to learn how to play guitar. And then I spent the next, 15 years not knowing how to learn gypsy jazz. So I just kind of had a guitar sometimes. I would play whatever, learn little snippets here and there. Had absolutely no idea what I was doing. didn't know how. The problem is I didn't know how to learn, and I didn't know to go and find a teacher. Like these things weren't obvious at that point for some reason. They're kind of obvious now, but I didn't know how to learn, and no one was really offering to point me in the right direction. So
A little question about Sweden Lowdown.
yeah.
Did you notice by the time that he wasn't playing for real, or did you notice that? Did
At that
it look
point,
fake to you?
at that point, I had no idea. I was like, "Oh wow, Sean Penn either plays guitar or he's really good at faking it." And then I went back years later. I'm like,
He's
what
so
is-
bad at faking it. He's so bad.
so apparently, there's a reason though. I guess he learned a bunch of fingerings to songs, but Woody Allen, you probably know this, but Woody Allen didn't tell them what songs were going where.
Really?
He would just
I didn't
play
know that.
whatever fingerings, whatever movements he had learned. I get that's the excuse
Okay.
floating around.
Okay.
But yeah,
I'll cut him some slack because
yeah.
there's many moments when there's single line he's playing chords, and there's chords and he's playing
Yeah.
single line. And stuff
Yeah.
like that. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay, go on. So
so
Sweden Lowdown, you
Sweden
didn't know how to practice.
I didn't know how to practice. I just I kind of had a guitar and and then I would say it was probably 7-8 years ago. There's a guy living here, this New Zealand guy who had a band. He's a guitarist, and they dissolved, and he took me under his wing and showed me how to play rhythm. And so we had a little group for a while, and yeah, I always wanted to do this. I wanted to do the soloing. Like he's a great soloist. He's moved back to New Zealand since, but yeah, I would try, it wouldn't work, and I didn't understand.
But how did you try? What did you try?
Little arpeggios online, or he would
Okay.
show me something, and I didn't know what swing eighth notes were. The only thing I did learn is I got my hands on a copy of Gypsy Picking, Michael Horowitz,
Right. Yeah.
and I went through that pretty faithfully. So
Okay.
I don't know anything else. I don't know how my other technique is, but I feel very comfortable with Gypsy Picking.
Oh, that looks good. That sounds and looks very good.
Like it's the
Which is
only way I know how to play. I don't know how
which
to.
is I'm surprised in a little bit in the sense like I seem to meet it's like 50-50. Some people that go through the book develop
Yeah.
great technique like you, and some people that go through the book develop bad habits. So I have never read the book, to be honest.
Okay.
But of course it's a classic. But
Yeah.
I'm always surprised when people say that because I've seen people that have like so much tension
Yeah.
and pain, but you have developed great technique through it. So.
But are they coming from a different musical background? Because I had no idea how to pick. Like
Maybe, yeah.
If I had like another technique, or I can't think of any, whatever the other ones are. I could see myself getting confused or developing bad habits. But I was like
Right.
kind of winging it the whole time. Finally found this guide on the way. So I was like,
Right.
fine, let's just believe in this. And
Yeah.
I didn't get through the whole book, but I got through the important exercises. So yeah, so I did that, was a rhythm guitarist. And then just kind of, again, always thought soloing would be cool. Didn't know how to do it. I didn't understand. It took hours and hours and hours. And then quit guitar for a bunch of times, came back to it. 6 months ago, I was like, you know what? I'm getting old. I turned 40 last year. So I'm like, I'm either going to take this seriously now or it's just never going to happen. So I bounced around to a couple of different courses, found your stuff, and was like, immediately I knew. Although I didn't.
How did you find it on YouTube, or how did you
YouTube.
fiund it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, your stuff has reach, man. There's no one who's interested in this music. It doesn't know who doesn't know your channel.
That
your
is
content.
true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And so I saw your stuff, had no idea what was going to be in the books. I watched the explanations, and I was like, I don't know, but I like what he's saying. I like his whole, you don't need to
It's a
bog
script,
yourself
though.
down. Yeah, I know. You did not pay me to say this, but I have nothing but praise for your materials. Got the books.
Thanks.
I just like the theory. Your philosophy behind it is just play phrases that are nice. Learn a whole bunch. It's like vocabulary, and that just resonated with me. Because the other stuff I looked at, the other advice was either horrible, like play what you feel, which is just, unless you already know.
Play what you
a bunch of
hear.
stuff,
Play what you hear.
So the worst advice I ever got was when I first started picking up a guitar, and I asked someone like, hey, how do you play this jazz stuff? And the guy said, just play what you feel. I'm like, there is nothing up here. This can't do anything. Don't know what's going on here. I'm like, what? So yeah. Anyway, and here we are.
let me. I want to respond to that a little bit because actually, among guitar players, if good guitar players, they usually don't say that. Play what you feel. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, in violin, happens a lot, right? Because many violin players, and I mean, every violin player plays classical, right? That's what
Yeah.
they do. But some people don't feel at home in the classical world, or more often than not, they're not just not good enough because the level is so insanely high for classical
Yeah.
violin.
Yeah.
Like one point you notice, okay, if I stick with this, the only thing I can ever do is play in an amateur orchestra somewhere
Yeah.
in the back row. I want to be heard, something like
Right.
that. So which music? What can I do with my violin to be heard? And then they discover it could be bluegrass, could be Irish music, or gypsy jazz. And gypsy jazz seems to be the best choice because the sound of the violin is still very classical. But
Yeah.
if you start playing bluegrass, you have to change the way you play violin. Same for Irish. But in gypsy jazz, you don't really have to change the way you play violin. You can have the nice vibrato. But then, of course, the struggle becomes, oh, this improvisation thing, how does it work? And then now the thing is that many violin players in gypsy jazz don't know anything about that. They don't know the chords, the tunes. They don't know how it works. And they start playing what, like you said, what they feel. Like they thought, oh, it's in G. Okay, yeah, I can play some G.
Yeah.
But the biggest problem is that these people, these violin players, they get gigs from very good guitar players because they need a violin player.
Right.
And there's something to the violin timbre that a lot of guitar players cannot hear if the lines are good. Yes or no? It's one of my pet peeves. But this thing, what you say, play what you feel, that actually does happen a lot in gypsy jazz. Not so much in
Yeah.
other music styles like bebop, right? And that's the reason why a lot of bebop players, it's starting to change a little bit. But a lot of great bebop musicians, they don't take gypsy jazz seriously because they hear these violin players play
Yeah.
really random shit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think play what you feel is bad advice once you're at a certain level. But like in
Yes.
the beginning, like I see where, I'm still a beginner. I've been unfortunately playing with guitar for a long time, but I'm a beginner at all this. And
Not at everything. Not at everything. You're not a beginner at everything, right?
well, I mean, you're talking about high bars with violin. I mean, gypsy jazz to even be halfway decent is pretty tough,
Yeah.
right?
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, so I just see it as a craft, right? I just sit down and like some of the comments I get occasionally are, "Why don't you play real music? Like, why are you playing exercises? Play real music, play melodies." One guy bragged that he warms up with "Stairway to Heaven," and then he's good. I'm like, how is that going to help you when I can't give you anything but "Love Comes On"? Like, what are you going to do? Yeah, I just see it as a craft, right? Like until like maybe later I can play what I feel, but for now it's like I just have to sit down and hammer things, like repeat stuff, sit there and figure out. Now I'm trying to figure out. I looked at what is it? All the Things You Are. What is this? Tune of the month.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah, tried it and was like, nope. I'm just gonna have to flood the Discord with questions soon.
But that's a hard tune. So that's a hard tune, right? But it's never played in Gypsy Jazz Jam sessions. So don't worry about that one.
Yeah.
It's a good tune to practice, but it's never played. So don't worry
Okay.
about that. So my next question for them, for you would be, so you've been doing all this stuff. Let's go to now, right?
Okay.
You finished one of my books, did all the exercises.
Right.
You did them really great, I have to say that. And it's not easy to do, right? So, okay, you're not improvising,
Was not easy.
but you have to really be aware of where everything is on the guitar. I'm very strict on timing and sound and stuff. So the reason that the fact that you did all of that is an accomplishment by itself, right? Let's not look at like great gypsy jazz players, just that you did that.
Right.
Is a great accomplishment because many people have bought my book and only 7 people have managed to do that. And you were always sending me exercises like almost perfectly. Like play perfectly, no repeats at full tempo. But many people are sending me exercises saying, man, I've been struggling with this exercise for months, So, and then they still make a lot of mistakes. So it's hard. It's hard. Right?
Yeah,
So let's
definitely.
get that out of the way.
Definitely. Yeah.
But now that you've done all of that,
Right.
what are your expectations of learning improv? What is your timeline for this? What do you think it's gonna take?
Good. I knew we were gonna bring this up because one of the things you said to my last progress report, you were like, I hope he doesn't think that learning improv is going to be like a month or two long process. And I was watching your review, and I was thinking, oh my God, is that what it sounds like? I'm like, I'm going to have to clear this up. No, I knew, and you say it all the time, but I already knew. I'm like, this is going to be, and it's in the description of my videos too, a years-long process. In fact, one of those, I mean, it's probably just I'm gonna have to work on it until I leave this earth, right?
Right.
There's no end in sight. I was just excited to actually finally start, right? Because I'd always had this idea like, oh, it'd be nice to learn how to improv. I'd look up stuff online. Okay, well, I've seen these arpeggios a million times. Like, when I hear other people play, I don't think they're playing this. So what do I play? Finally got your stuff, did the books, book 2. And yeah, and I know this is it forever. So my expectations are, I have this material, and it's nice because now I don't have to wander in search of other shiny, fun objects. I've got it right here. It's in my fingers.
The reason I said that is because I think in one of your progress reports you said, okay, people are always asking me the questions, why aren't you not playing? Why aren't you going to improvise? Yeah, I'm going to do that next month. You said something like that.
No, I'm going to start.
To me,
yeah. No, I'm going to start the process. Yeah, let's.
And it sounded to me like you were saying, okay, no, I didn't finish putting up the shelf, but I'll do it next month. Right, that's finished.
No, this is
okay.
Yeah, starting the process.
Okay, so what is when you look at it now, right?
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest struggle in that process?
Well, okay, so I think I did it the right way. I think going through the whole book 2, right? That's the first beast, right? Book 1 is great, and actually I keep going back to it. But book 2 is the first real challenge. I think I did it the right way in completing the book because it's a physical challenge.
Yes.
And I knew that, and I was like, all right, I can't play triplets. I wasn't really aware of swing eighth notes until you said it, and you're like, this is how you play it. So there was a lot of time just going taka taka taka.
Right.
And you can watch it all. So I did it the right way. So now the struggle is that not usually the chords that I see on the screen, when I bring up a song, don't match exactly with the phrases in the book. Or they do, but I have to look for them, or I have to rearrange things. Like a lot of times, there are a lot of the dominant phrases are long and phenomenal, but then I only have like one bar of a dominant, and I have to go and remember what I know, and also kind of extract it from what I know, right? Because I memorize things as the sets.
Yes, of course.
So it's trying to figure out. Yeah, so it's trying to extract phrases that I can use. It's trying to remember them, right? Because I remember them as sets, they're not always there. I have to kind of like, I know where, the phrase starts, and I know where the F sharp starts in the phrase, but when it's on its own, I have to kind of go and look for it. So there's recalling the phrases individually, there's extracting smaller portions. Then there are sections where I don't know what's going on, like Christophe changes.
Right.
So I'm doing the book 3 Christophe changes section right now. I've been working on it for the last week or so, and because you've explained how to do it in the Discord with the licks in book 2, but it's still a little confusing because because you you talked about substitutions. You say you have no idea what's going on, and I replied to said no. This is already substitutions, but later I was like, no, I think he meant like when we talk about substituting to the chords for another chord that is written down, right? I think I meant a bunch of things.
But for Christophe changes, and I said it a couple of times, that Christophe changes is just a variation of 2 2-5-1s in a row. Right.
So
but yeah.
Right. So I was going to say, so the first one, for the first 2-5-1, the 5 is altered.
Yeah, you should play an altered line. Yeah.
Right. So that means I have to look at a line that I know and either identify it as altered or alter it, which is something that I'm trying to figure out. Right. So I
would just go for a line that's already altered. And if for my books, for instance, if you go to the in the book 1, the dominant chapter, all the lines there are pretty much altered. So
Yeah, I've been going back and noticing that.
yeah, and I think in the book 2, when it's altered, I usually write it down or I say it. Right, I say this is an altered line.
Yeah. So I said this in the progress report too, but I'll come clean. I didn't pay much attention to the descriptions because I just took book 2 as a physical exercise, right? I was like,
Right. Yeah.
What good is knowing what this is if I can't play it? So I'm actually doing that now. There's a lot of going back and like actually reading. So for anyone watching, that information is in the books. Right?
But do you know why? Do you know why it should be altered in Christophe Changes?
Why it should be altered?
Yeah, why should you alter in the first two of one, but not the second one? Or the second you're free, you can do whatever you want. But the first one should be altered. Do you know why?
Well, the second one is just a regular 2-5-1, but the first one
so you can do anything you want.
Is like what is a C and then a C sharp. What are they called? God, I'm embarrassing myself now. Yeah, because it's just different. Because I kind of know.
Let's say which song. Let's do a tune. Let's do a tune. Which tune?
Okay. What was I looking at? I closed everything.
JM Abruptum says it's the same problem with altered exactly to me. So we're gonna. Okay. I'm going to explain it now, Abruptum, and you will know it forever. Yeah.
Right. Oh. Okay. There. Let me. Like all of me has no. Is that a Christophe changes at the end of all?
Yeah,
it
starts on F. F starts on F.
So, okay, but sometimes it'll go F minor.
Right.
But then other times you'll have F and then some other.
There is basically 3 variations.
Yeah.
There's 3 variations. One goes F sharp diminished to C.
Right. Diminished is the word I couldn't think of. That shows you what I know.
So what we call that in jazz is 4 raised 4 to 1.
Okay.
And the other one is 4 minor, F minor to 1. And there's a variation where you just start immediately with the diminished chord. So you skipped F, you just play 2 bars F sharp diminished. So a song that has that, for instance, not originally, but like Django played it, is Some of These Days.
Yep.
Yeah, you have like, but that okay. Then the end goes C diminished because the song to the G. But Django plays C sharp diminished immediately, so he goes like E7, A minor. Now it's Christophe, so he goes immediately to C sharp diminished. So that's also a variation that's possible, where you just skip the 4 chord and go immediately to raised 4.
Okay.
So those are the 3 that are there. But now let me continue. So why should you alter that second chord? You should alter the second chord because if the second chord is the minor chord, so let's go back to All of Me, right? We have F, and then we have F minor. So this is an F minor, right? You know this is just a bar chord, F minor. Look.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, if I put a G in the bass, I get F minor with a G in the bass. Okay. But that chord is called G7 sus flat 9. And the flat 9,
okay,
as you know, is part of altered sound. That's why you should alter it.
I did, yeah, okay.
But you still, okay, but what if it's F sharp? But what if it's F sharp diminished? Right? There's other possibilities, but you could still do that. Why? Because in Christophe changes, you can just mix those variations. Because that's just how that sounds good. It has been done for many times. But it is true that if the rhythm guitar is playing F sharp diminished and you're playing G altered, you're playing something that doesn't fit with the chord. But in practice, this just works.
Okay.
Right? That's why you should alter it. That's the reason. And if it's F sharp diminished, you can also play an altered line, by the way.
Okay.
But you do the 1 half step below the main key. So if we're in the key of C, right?
Yep.
So then the Christophe change starts on 4.
Okay.
Now it's F sharp diminished, you play B7 altered. Why? Because you guys take the main key, it's C, and then you go a half step below and you play altered lines for that. That sounds really nice on F sharp diminished. And you don't actually have to understand why. It's very difficult to understand it. It's a whole diminished theory thing. But just know that in Christophe changes, if the second chord is a diminished chord, then you just go a half step below the main key and alter that. Okay. Or you do it easy and you play 2 of 1 and you alter the 5 chord. And now I've explained to you why that is, but you can also forget all of that. Because I never think about that when I play. I just know, it's Christophe changes, let's play an altered line.
Okay. So you think it's Christophe changes playing altered line for
if I want to.
Oh, for that chord, or do you have like an altered 2-5-1 in mind, like you see it as a package, or
I can
both?
play an alt. I can play an alt 2-5. I can
Yeah.
just play a dominant line for two bars. G7
Okay.
altered for two bars. Right. I could do from book one. I could do a
Right.
diminished arpeggio up, and then a Phrygian dominant scale down. Right. I could do that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I could play a 2-5-1 line. Let's do a 2-5-1 line from the first book. So I could do right, that line, or this one. You know that line, right?
Yeah, from book 2, right? You're talking about book 2?
Yeah. This is a great line to
Of
play
course I know
on
that
all
line.
of me.
I've played it
Yeah,
about 1,000
it's-
times, yeah.
It's great to play on all of me. Great line.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can do that,
Okay,
or you can,
okay.
yeah.
So there's that. So that issue, and I'll obviously rewatch this part, and I'm going back to the comments.
Yeah.
There's grabbing the list in time, and the counting. Not so much timing as knowing where to place licks, like counting. And I know the metronome system kind of gets you prepped for that by starting 1 or 2 beats early, 1 or 2 beats late. But there's still a lot of like, I'll play something, and I'm so focused on what I'm playing, I forget what's coming next, or
You
that I
forget
need to
it?
start a little. Or it's just not even. It's not that I forget. It's just not present. in
Okay,
my
so
mind.
because here's the thing, right? There's no set time to play these things. You can
Right.
play them pretty much anywhere, as long as you know where the backing track is.
Right.
So the idea of jazz improvisation, or one of the ideas, is that you are not beholden to the rhythm section in that sense that you exactly have to be at the same place as the rhythm section. The only rule is when you stop the line, you have to be stopped at the same place. So let's say you're playing Christophe changes of all of me, and it's F minor, and C, right?
Yep.
You start playing G7 altered, and the rhythm section is already on C, but you're still on the altered line. That's fine. Just keep playing, and then when you stop the line, make sure that you're together at that chord. But this is not like something you have to practice. This is just something that you know. So now you said, okay, I'm gonna just try this line on all of me on the Christophe changes, right? And I'm gonna start somewhere in that Christophe change, maybe a little bit before, maybe a little bit after, and I try to stop. I try not to stop the line before we're both at C.
Okay.
But this has to be instinct. You cannot really. You shouldn't really calculate and say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and go.
That's what I'm doing now.
That is an exercise that you can do with the two beats. That's just to get you away from playing it at the same beat every time. But in the end, you just have to. Let me demonstrate it a little bit.
Okay.
Because. So, of course, I should have gotten up the backing tracks before we started this, but okay, backing tracks. Here we go. All of me. E7. Second half. Christophe.
Okay.
So I started way too early,
Yeah.
right? And I noticed I was already at the line, but the C was not there. So I said, okay, let's continue the G7 altered idea. And I did a diminished arpeggio up, right? But this now I heard also starting this early doesn't really sound that nice. So let's try it again and start later. So now wait for the Christophe change to start and then play the line.
Okay.
Because this now I'm playing G7 altered already before the F, and there it's still what's the chord there, A minor. So that sounded weird. So let's not do that. So I notice these things and I don't do it again. Now I wait for the Christophe change to start and I play that line. You can hear the backing track, right?
Yep.
Let's try the 2-5-9 here also. Here we can do it here. Yeah, sounds good. There, you know? Here we go. Ah, that sounds good there. So now I started on one end, like 3, 4, But now I did 3, 4, 1, 2. No, I started on B3, I think. 3, 4, 1. Yeah, I started on B3. Now let's start. I go back a little bit. I start 2 beats later. Or just later, I don't count. But I wait a little bit longer time. Oh, there was already. So A7, and then we go to D minor. Here it goes. And now I wait longer. Christophe changes 3, 4, Okay, it wasn't a success again. D minor. Here we go. Fine, also fine,
right.
you know?
Right.
And of course, I have a lot of experience doing this and judging if it sounds fine. But the point is that you should not be very strict with yourself when it comes to that. And also give yourself the chance to fail there, you know?
Oh, well,
and do something that doesn't sound good. But do something that doesn't sound good and take a risk, take a lot of risks.
Oh, yeah, you should, check out some of the... So I played Sweet Sue last week, 3 or 4 days in a row. And I was like, all right, I'm going to play Sweet Sue and do a couple other things, work on book 3. And I just ended up doing like 2 hours at a time. And it's all just me trying to figure out stuff. It's like, this is what you're talking about, right? Like you just have to... Did you ever
just take... So this phrase I just played, did you ever do it like this? You play just everywhere. So C, and then on E7, And now E7 again. D7. G7. E7. A7. Christophe. Right? Did you do that?
Not quite so much. Hold on 1 second. We have a visitor. Excuse me, May.
I just went through the song and played. I played it on every dominant. I played it somewhere, right? I didn't even play it every time on beat 1. I just waited and I tried it to see what it sounds like.
I've done that, but not so much. I've done that, but not quite as a much more rudimentary version of that. But I will try that again.
What's your favorite 2-5-1 phrase from book 2?
But my favorite one. Give me 1 second.
Sorry, abruptive. No, I didn't play B7 altered. I played G7 altered. I didn't play B7 altered. But I have to say, it sounded. No, forget it. I played G7 altered. Okay, go on.
So, let me look. Some of the triplets. There's a triplet that starts 2 beats in, and hold on. Let me. I don't remember.
Let me get the book. Let me get the book. Okay. Give me a page number.
All right. We're on... Oh, okay. Well, starting off, the first one of chapter 5 is great. I love phrase 1 of chapter 5. Big fan.
Let's go. Chapter 5. Yeah, okay. First one. That's a great phrase.
That's my go-to. That's my go-to when I don't know what else to play.
Okay, let's play that on all of me then.
Okay.
So let's think about it. So the first chord is C. Of course, we cannot play that there, right? Then it's E7, but E7, right? The 2-5-1. You can always replace the 2x5 chord, but you can do it also the other way around. When you have a dominant that 2 bars in a row, you can just play 2-5-1 lambda. So I can play it on E7. That's why I should play it here. And I have to resolve to A. I'm probably not going to sound great on A7 because this is weird. So maybe, you know what? I'm not going to play it on E7. I'm going to play it on A7 because that kind of really resolves to not another dominant chord. Okay. So if I play it on A7, then I should play it So that would here.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Yeah. No, that's to A. Wait. Now I'm getting confused. A7 should be here. Okay. Sounds. Let's try that. So that's D minor, and then the E7 after it. I can do it. And then there's D7. Let's not do it on D7 because there's a dominant chord right after it. So we do it on G7 here. Or here. Okay, let's try it. Of course, I'm fast with these things, right? You have to think a little bit.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to put this video on half speed later.
C. Okay, we don't play it on E7.
Yep.
But I'm gonna play it on A7 here.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. No, I'm in the wrong key. Wait. Okay, I have to think. The original line is on A. So this is on.
The A7 is the 5.
Yes, the 5 chord. So the 2 chord.
5. Okay.
So the 2 chords E minor should play it here.
Right.
But the problem is it resolves to a major third.
Right.
And it goes to D minor, so I have to change a little bit, maybe. Right? I have to go to minor. Yeah, that was the problem. Okay. Start on the 5th fret. Here we go. 1, 2. Right, E7.
Okay.
Okay. I can do it on E7, but I also have to go to minor. Okay.
Right.
Let's do it again. A7. Here we go. E7. D7. G7. Oh, wrong key. G7 to D minor should be here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it is not easy. You can see.
Right.
I've never done this to minor. Also, for instance, E7, A7. E7. D7. G7. E7. A7. 2 from 1 to C, right?
Yep.
But this line is not altered. So it doesn't sound as good in the first 2 of 1. You can also hear that, right? So the first 2 of 1 you shouldn't play it. So it's a difficult thing to do because you have to constantly jump to all these places. But this is how you should practice it. And then you should practice it, play it 2 beats earlier, 2 beats later, right? And then you should practice it improvising. Do you ever do that? Like just you improvise, do whatever you want, but you have to play this phrase 1 time.
I mean that's kind of so the way I do it is I'll have like a Sweet Sue or something playing at 75% speed usually, and I'll work on a couple of phrases. I'll work on a couple of phrases for the different sections, right? So something for dominant, something for the 2-5-1, something for the major, or like 1 or 2, and drill it, and then I'll just try to mix and match, and just try to get those phrases in there.
Did you try this line on Sweet Sue?
Oh yeah. Played it a million times, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Although only not as creatively as you're doing right there. It was more like, where's the copy and paste? Where does it fit if I just cut it out of the book and plop it onto the song? Which is tough for me, right? So this is like, I'm not doing that because I'm lazy. It's like that's hard enough. But yeah.
Okay, let's think about Sweet Sue
right now.
No, it's okay.
I don't mean to.
But I also want to show you, like, I'm struggling with these things too sometimes because, you have to find the right place to play it, and you have to put it at the right fret. So with Sweet Sue, let's try this on Sweet Sue then. Okay. So let's think about it. You played it in the A part here, right? You played it here.
On it.
On this fret, right? You did it here.
Yeah, that sounds all right.
Did you play it in the bridge? No.
I played it. Hold on 1 second. Let me pull up Sweet Sue. I played it. Your video's not coming up. That's frustrating. I played it. Yeah, I played it first four. Okay, so bars 3, 4, and 5.
Right.
For,
Yeah.
right for that 2, 5, 1, and then I would do it again, and then yeah, I think
The
just
bridge you
there.
didn't do it. The bridge you didn't do it, right?
Bridge,
No.
no, the bridge, no, I didn't.
You played kind of two, but we could try it there, even though it's not an altered line. But you could do because we have to go to minor there.
Right, right.
And then there's C minor. Could we do it there? Because this notice like the C minor here in G
Right.
is a 4 minor chord, right? So it's again it's kind of an altered dominant. It's same like Christophe changes.
I didn't know any of that. One more time.
No. So
what is it?
think back about all of me.
Right.
So the Christophe changes start F minor. Remember?
Yep.
And I said if you have F minor and you put a G in the bass, it becomes a G sus flat 9 chord.
Okay.
Now we go to the key of G, and we take C minor, and I put a D in the bass,
Yeah.
which is the 5 and G. I get a D 7. So this C minor thing that's there, you could also treat it kind of like an altered 2/5.
Okay, because I was just doing
you could.
straight A minor stuff and C minor stuff, but that's okay.
Also
that's
fine. Now this line is not altered, so let's find an altered 2/5. Let's see if this chapter has a nice altered 2/5. Oh, we could do that. No, let's not try the Gonzalo thing.
Yeah, I love. Okay,
I will fail. I will fail.
love the Gonzalo lick. I love it so much.
But I will fail.
I try to play it wherever I can. I'm just so proud that I
We could try it, no?
well, I can't go much faster than 170, but yeah.
Oh, that's already pretty fast. But I see here a line. Let's try that line phrase 3. That's phrase 3, chapter 5, right?
Yep.
That's an altered phrase.
Okay.
So we could try that in the bridge of Sweet Sue on the C minor. So we pretend like it's a 2-5-1 to G, and we play. I have no guarantee that it will sound nice though, because the C minor, it's very much C minor, but it's kind of we could maybe see it as a altered 2/5. Not sure. Let's try. So I'm not sure about these things too. It's not bad. This doesn't sound that bad. The only problem is it doesn't resolve to G. It doesn't resolve to G.
Yeah.
So for that reason, it's not that good. We shouldn't do that. And also, I played it in the bridge 2 beats too early.
Okay.
Because it's 4 bars before we go to A minor. So I could probably play it in the 3rd bar. Let's try one more time, and I play it in the 3rd bar. It sounded kind of funny, but it wasn't good. Too early? I'll try it one more time. Let's Gonzalo. Almost. Let's try the Gonzalo line. Yeah.
Nice, nice.
It's hard. I have to admit, it's hard to do these things, right?
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
for me, as you can see now, because I have to give myself a very specific exercise to do these things,
right,
and it just takes away from creativity that you have.
right.
So
Well,
where do you see? Why do you think you're doing this though? Why? What do you think is the purpose of this exercise?
so because um, creativity is not really a concern of mine at the moment. It's a concern. You can be creative because you have the materials to work with, right? And you can have an idea and translate it into sounds on the guitar. I'm working like, for all intents and purposes, my entire vocabulary is contained in book 2, a little bit of book 1, and just a tad book 3. So
Yeah. So my question is, why do you think we're doing this exercise?
to gain fluency, right? I mean, it's. Oh wait, what do you mean? Why am I doing it when I
So
practice? Or
why
like right
are we
now
doing
at the
this
moment?
exercise of playing the same phrase all the time? But why do you think this is the reason? What the purpose is of this exercise?
See where it fits. See
Yeah.
to get the physical ability to play it where it fits, to experiment. I feel like there's a right answer that I'm not exactly
Yeah,
hitting.
yeah. You're not hitting the right answer. Because here's the thing. If you think I was hoping you would say something like, so that when I start having a gig, I play this phrase.
Oh,
I
well,
was
yeah. I
hoping
mean,
you were going to say that.
well, that's what all this is for, right? That's what the
But
whole.
that's the wrong answer. So that is the wrong answer. So I was
Oh,
thinking
that's wrong
that you
too.
maybe.
Man, okay, all
I
right.
thought you thought that. Just like, okay, so then I do this enough, and then when I go to a gym, I will play this phrase. Because I'll be honest with you, I very rarely play this phrase. And you can tell that because I'm struggling, I'm making mistakes, playing too early. I very rarely play it because I love this phrase.
Right,
I don't play it a lot.
right.
The reason why we do this exercise is to just play it all the time,
Yeah,
so that our ears start hearing this phrase at the right
yeah,
spot, maybe,
yeah,
hopefully,
yeah,
but very low chance. But we're just giving it the best we can, because in the end,
yeah,
or let's take the ears out of it, because that makes it sound like some kind of something that you can only do when you have incredible ears. It's more that you hope that your brain starts making the connection when you play the tune to your fingers, like, oh, I can play it
yeah,
right now. It just pops into my mind, and my fingers at the
yeah.
right spot. But it's very random if that's gonna happen.
But I feel like there's got to be like a critical mass of stuff you can work on, right? Like at some point, like you just said, you've made enough connections. You can now think like you just demonstrated. You turn on the tune, expecting to play something, and suddenly your brain's like, we get all this that we can work with because we've drilled it so much. Like we haven't played this in 10 years. Oh, we were working on this the other day. There's got to be some sort of critical mass, right? And I think that's another reason why for me, I just got to drill stuff,
Can
and
you
eventually
define critical mass in this context for me?
you you just work on so much stuff that at some point you're able to do something with it that's not necessarily like you're able to do more than just the individual pieces, right?
Right.
Like you've created enough connections, like you just said, between
Yeah, that
what
could be
you're
it. That
hearing
could be
or
it. Yeah. I'm thinking a
I
little
don't
bit different
know,
way.
but okay,
I don't know either. Here's the thing. I don't know. I don't think many people know. Here's the way I look at it. I look at it, maybe you've heard me say that before. I look at it with the darts, right? With the darts
yeah,
board.
yeah,
Like I'm working on like 60 things at the same time, hoping that one will stick. But why it sticks, I don't know. It has to do something with, I don't know, I don't know, my fingers seem to like this phrase, or it fits with lots of other stuff I have, but I'm not completely sure what it is. And you know how many times I've sat down with like Stochelo after a gig and said, "Hey man, do you know this thing?" And he said, "No,
yeah,
do you know this thing?" And then I never heard him play it,
yeah,
any ever. So I remember him. He had this fast thing on with open strings. He was showing it to everyone. Showed it to me. Showed it to Moses. I have never heard him play it in a solo ever. But he really liked the thing.
yeah,
So it is the same for everyone. Right? You just fall in love with a certain phrase. You
yeah,
really like it. You practice it your ass off on it, but then you never play it. And you go home It's like, man, I didn't play that phrase. Next time, but it
So,
never happens.
so okay, I've got a question to ask. I'm really curious about. So, how long do you work on phrases until you're ready to move on, or until you feel like now it's time to work on something else?
Exactly the amount of time until I get bored with that particular thing I'm doing. So let's get away from classical music
Yeah,
and classical practice, because what you did with book two
yeah,
is basically classical music practice in
yeah,
the sense that you
yep,
have a exercise, right?
yep.
And it's like a technique thing, it's like a timing thing. But if it's about improv, I work exactly the amount of time on it until I have had enough. And then I work on something else.
Okay,
Because I know that the goal is not to make this thing, make this particular phrase
mm,
or chord or whatever,
mm,
a thing, a definite thing for my playing. I
yeah,
know that is never the goal, because if that is the goal, you will be disappointed so many times.
okay,
But because the chance that you are going to play it are so low, and it's very hard for people to understand this. Like, I've seen people on my Discord say, "Well, no, but with the science of nowadays,
yeah,
there
yeah.
has to be some kind of neuroscience
Spaced
thing, and the way of
repetition and
practicing,
yeah,
and space repetition, and then we have these Ank apps and stuff."
yeah,
I've heard this all before, and I've tried all of it. I had a notepad at one point
yep,
where I came up with abbreviations for certain phrases, and I tried to organize them in a certain way and look at it every. None of that stuff ever worked. And then I hear Stochelo play or other players that I know really well, like even like somebody like Pasquale Grasso, who has a huge range of stuff he can
yeah,
play.
yeah.
I still hear a lot of the same things in every song. Why is that? It's because that is the thing that comes to mind, that you hear, whatever you want to call it. You hear, comes to mind, that your fingers go towards,
Hmm.
I don't know, whatever it is that it is. You keep playing the same things. But you shouldn't look at it like, oh, I'm playing the same things all the time. You should look at it like, okay, this is what I can play. This is what pops to mind. How can I play this thing as interestingly as possible?
Mm,
Right? Can I change the timing? Maybe I can play a little bit differently. Maybe I can stop the line earlier. Maybe I can extend it. And that's what Stochelo, for instance, is so good at. Because he only has 15 to 20 phrases that he plays all the time, based on my transcribing
mm.
more than 100 solos. People hear that, 15, 20, so that sounds easy. I'm going to also find 15
Yeah,
phrases. But it
yeah.
doesn't
Good
work like
luck.
that.
Right.
You got to practice, like Stochelo has practiced hundreds of things, right?
So, okay. So, what should I do? So, what I'm trying to should I start looking for other vocabulary, or going harder into book three, or because right now I'm just trying to figure out how to play over songs. So I wanted to use the material that's in my fingers kind of
Right.
as training wheels.
So
So
my
should I
my
keep going
methodology
until I
with the
get
books
it?
is
Yeah.
my methodology with the books is there's two reasons I wrote the books. No, maybe three, but one of the first reasons is to get people working on something that they have to pay attention to their timing.
Yeah.
And that's why the set exercises are there, because there's many challenges that are put in the way of you messing with your timing. It's
Yes.
difficult to play. You have
Yep.
to play all these keys. The one thing I'm interested in is your timing, does it stay okay? Because once I see that you can do that you can
Hmm.
play these difficult things, but your timing is still okay. It could
Hmm.
be timing for swing eighth notes, could be timing for triplets, could be timing for swinging quarter notes, could be all of these things.
Hmm.
Could be a timing of your hammer-ons, of your slides, right? It's all swing eighth notes, but it's different challenges. If I can see that you can do that, I know that you have developed the awareness of it.
Hmm.
So now every time you start playing, so for instance, I noticed now when I was playing, okay, I was struggling with the line, it messed with my timing.
Yeah.
I'm bummed about it, but I know that's going to happen. But now I know that every time you practice something new, could be my book, could be something else, you are aware of this very important thing. So that's the
Right.
first reason. The second reason is to just give you very beautiful phrases that you can use if you want to, because
Yeah.
some people are very bad at transcribing or they don't feel like transcribing. I give you a cross section of the greatest phrases I find in a particular style. So book two is just phrases that I like randomly from different places.
Yep.
Book three, it's only jungle in the 30s. Book four, it's only bebop
Yeah.
phrases, right? It's just a collection of really great phrases organized in a way that you can understand how it works on the guitar. Like, oh, this is all in this space, in this
Yep.
spot, right?
It's so
But
well
now,
done. It's so, I just have to, I've said it in the Discord, but like just to say it to your face, dude, it's so well done.
oh,
And
thank
it's
you, thank
so
you.
nice. Like I I keep saying it, but book three, I'm loving it. Like I would have never, even if I was transcribing stuff, like the Christophe changes, for example, I wouldn't have been able to stick with it long enough to actually transcribe those phrases. But because they're in the book, and because I have, I'm able to follow along with you, and like I said this before too, a lot of the phrases don't make sense to me until I can play
Yeah,
them at a certain speed, until they're
right.
comfortable, and then at some point I'm like, oh, now I hear what's going
Yeah.
on. But like until that, I'm like, what is this? But anyway,
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
So
It's funny that you say. It's
the
funny
one
that
in
you
the
say
book,
that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's funny
So
because I was already a great transcriber before I was a guitar player. Because that was my job basically. I was an arranger for orchestras, and a lot of the times that involved a lot of transcription, because then they said, you want to play this orchestral piece, but we want to play it with the string quartet and five bassoons.
yeah,
So
yeah,
then I first had to transcribe it or find a score, but a lot of times you cannot get a score. So I had to transcribe it. I had to be very precise, and then I had to
yeah.
arrange it for five bassoons. So I was very good at transcribing anything you can throw at me, not just jazz solos, but if you say, please transcribe Lord of the Rings soundtrack, I can transcribe that for you,
Wow.
right?
So, oh yeah.
And
I just,
and then I'm very good at notating it in a way that a musician can read it and play it. So that was before, that has nothing to do with my guitar playing. But that's one of the things, like, that is one of my skills. That's great skill to have for a book, writing stuff down.
and if you
You wanted
didn't
to ask a
have
question
that,
about that?
well, I was just
Yeah?
going to say, if you hadn't done that and created, like I said, all the books, I would have never been able to transcribe these things on my own. So that's why I
Yeah.
would have been stuck, because it just wouldn't have made any sense. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I
But
think I was just praising you for that while we were at it. But I think the question is, so should I stick with book two, or until I can kind of figure out how to play over different sections of songs, because there aren't a million options, right? There are
so
only
this,
so many.
yeah, the third step. Here's the third step, and this is where you are at.
Okay.
So you did all the stuff with exercises and the timing, paying attention to timing and
Yeah.
clean playing and technique. You did all of that stuff, right? But here's the final step. The
Okay.
final step is that you just practice improv
Yeah.
with stuff you like.
Okay.
They could be from my books, and I use my own books. To be honest, I use my own books
Yeah.
to fuel my practice sessions.
Yeah.
Because in book 3, basically, it's every phrase of Django that I want to be able to play.
Yeah.
That's book 3.
Yeah.
Book 4 is just Bible phrases that I want to play. That's what's in the books. It's just things that I want to learn, and I have my whole computer. There's thousands of things I transcribed, but are not organized. So before I start practicing something, I organize it, and it's basically what you see. That's the book, right? It's an organization of things I love. So the third step here is that you work on that in any way that you want,
Okay.
but not with the goal to have that be a part of your to have that 100% be a part of your improv language. Because if you have that goal, you're going to be very, very disappointed, and you probably stop
Yeah.
because you think, man, I've been practicing this Christophe change for half a year, and I still, whenever I start improvising, I never play it.
Never play. Yeah.
And you will stop, because that's going to happen. You have to just be happy with your practice sessions, and when you play something in improv, when that happens, you have to be very proud of yourself. It's like, man, I just played it. I didn't intend to play it. I was just improvising. I had a clear mind, and I just played it, and I played it. And that's, if the first time you play a new line, it's really a joyous occasion for me also.
So is that a later stage though? Because right now, if I have such a limited vocabulary and I'm still trying to figure out the songs, like, should I be exploring other phrases and licks, or should I just try to stick with a limited range and just to figure out how it all fits together? And then once I've kind of got that foundation, then add ornaments to the Christmas tree.
I'm
Or,
going to say something that you really don't like,
oh God.
but there's only one way to test this.
Yeah, I
Can
know
you guess
you're
what it
gonna
is? Can you
say.
guess what it is?
Go and jam.
And that is it. And really, I'm sorry, but that is it. Because you have to now just play with people and say, okay, let's play Sweet Sue,
Right.
and make your mind free.
Right.
Don't think about the phrases you
Right.
practiced. I know that's hard. It's hard. It's hard for me too.
Right.
And accept your suckiness.
So, okay. But, okay. So when you say jam, right, and obviously I've been
Yeah.
very, like, I'm not ready to jam, meaning for the most part, I don't get most songs. Like Sweet Sue, I get. I sat there and I was like, okay, let's slowly work through this. I mean, I kind of get it. I get it in the comfort of my room. But like, all the things you are, I don't get. So you're saying
Yeah, don't jam that tune. Don't
jam
jam
that
all
tune.
things you are.
So right
No.
now I can jam. Actually, okay. I actually jammed a few days ago. There's a guy who lives right down the street. It was kind of random. He's got a couple of gypsy jazz guitars. I think he bought it on like Alibaba or something. He's been playing for a long time, and he knows some of the people in the jazz gypsy jazz community here. So I haven't seen him in a long time. I was walking around. He happened to be. He's got a little shop, a bar. So I stopped in, and we ended up jamming, and it went exactly how I thought it would go. It was a mess.
Yeah.
my rhythm sucked. I was like, this is not correct. That's why I started playing.
Okay, you have to fix
pressing
that.
rhythm.
Fix
Yeah, I gotta
your
fix
rhythm.
that. That's why I started
So-
working on it. But then the
Yeah.
phrases.
So before you go to a jam, fix that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But let's say I'm you.
Right.
You, right? I'm now you.
Right.
So I finished book 2. It was a great feeling. I know now what good vocabulary is. I heard
Yeah.
it many times.
Yeah.
I know what good timing is. It's great. That's a great foundation. And I know Sweet Sue. But
that's
my
it.
rhythm sucks. So I'm now going to spend a couple of months getting my rhythm
Yep.
okay. It doesn't have to be great, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to be Mathieu Châtelain. You just have to be able to play like this. That's Sweet Sue.
Which is
you work
proving
on
to be
that.
much harder than I thought. Yeah.
It is. You
reviewing
know
the
what the
video.
hard thing about rhythm is? It cannot be the tempo thing. I think you can handle that. The hard thing about rhythm is the sound. To get that sound
what it is.
nice.
The
Yeah.
bounce.
But I have a lot of videos about it. So, and you can ask me
That's what I'm
questions.
watching. Yeah.
As soon as my rhythm is okay, and I can play like say 5 songs, and
Right.
I can solo on one, right? Sweet Sue for
Okay.
now. I go to a jam session. I play the songs I know. I play rhythm, and then when we play Sweet Sue, maybe nobody mentions it. Guys, can we play Sweet Sue? I play a solo on Sweet Sue.
Hey,
Of
guys.
course, I tried.
Yeah.
It's gonna be I'll be very nervous. My hands start sweating. Right, nothing's working. You do one chorus, and you failed. Let's do it again next week. And you do this every week or as much as you can. Best thing is to go actually also to a festival where you can do it 24/7
Yeah.
with other people that are bad. That's the testing ground. It's the testing grounds for your practice at home. And you need those testing grounds because, like you said, like if I cannot do it at home with a backing track, why would I do it live? But the
Right.
reason is
Yeah.
the thing with the backing track at home is not comparable. Because you can actually it's very difficult to turn off your brain and say, okay, now I'm just going to improvise the backing track and not think of the licks I just practiced.
Right.
That's not going to work because you were just practicing those phrases. But when you have to take a bus to a jam session or a plane and somebody, hey, Emma, let's jam. You didn't practice those phrases. You have to get out your guitar, tune, and you have to start playing Sweet Sue. That situation is so radically different from having just practiced. I'm not sure how you're going to recreate that at home.
Well, true, but I just don't understand. Like, there are so many gaps, though. Like, my whole thing is like, it's not that I want to postpone this forever. It's just there are a bunch of gaps. As in, like, I know I can. Well, I could the other day play a couple of things over Sweet Sue, and I looked at another song today or whatever. Like,
You could.
oh yeah, I mean, well, I don't know.
There you go.
So I could play, yeah. But it's like I'm not going to go with one song, right? So I guess what you're saying is get a few more songs, spend a little more time on it.
No, one song is fine. If you can only do one
really?
song, then do one song. Yeah, yeah. Because it's not so much about being ready to face a jam like a pro. It's just
Right.
being there and playing. But let me address this one thing that you said. Okay,
Yeah.
if there's many gaps. Listen, I saw this guy commenting on your video, like bad advice that Christiaan gave going to a jam. What I do is I prepare a solo.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That is not, that is not a bad idea. I like that idea as long as you combine it with improv. So why not prepare one chorus, and you can practice that at home. I agree with that. Say, okay, I'm just gonna play Sweet Sue. I'm gonna start with.
Actually,
I'm gonna start like that, and then I do. It's fine.
I actually don't want to. Yeah, to be honest, so I don't want to prepare.
No, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I like that idea because it will give you something to hold on to.
Yeah.
It's like a safety. It's like a safety. Like when you fall off a boat,
Safety net, right.
you have this thing that keeps you afloat. But here's my thing. Then jump from the boat with your what do you call it when you keep floating?
Your life jacket.
Yeah, jump from the boat with your life jacket. Do it for 5 minutes, but then take off the life jacket and try to swim without the life jacket also.
Right.
See if you drown. Accept the drown.
I will
drown.
Believe me,
you will drown.
Yeah, I've drowned many times. Yeah.
But if you need that to feel secure, then I'm all for it.
Right.
I have never done that, but I know plenty of people who have done it, and they had a great experience. So figure out one little chorus and say, guys, or don't say guys, say just play 2 choruses.
Yeah.
Play one chorus that you prepared. Probably also will go wrong. You will see.
Definitely.
Because there's other challenges with that, but then do one chorus improv, and that was it. That was your whole jam for that evening. That's fine. That's fine.
We'll see. And also the level here, man. The jams. There's. I don't know if you've seen the South Korean players, because they've been inviting me to their jams for a while. They are speed demons, dude. Oh, hold on. How about that?
I know them because what's their names again?
There are a few.
Yeah, because I think I met a bunch of them.
There's a video of you playing with them.
Yeah. So I met them. Yeah, I met them. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah,
but how do you think they become this great?
Yeah, well, I know. So I'm like,
they're playing all together all the time, right? They have a little band.
Yeah. Well,
one guy just recorded an album.
Yep.
One recorded an album. He asked me if I want to mix it. I don't think I have time, but they're playing together all the time.
Yeah.
And also they have great arrangements, little arrangements.
Yep.
To right. So they're preparing this stuff, but to be honest, they're not at the level of like Adrien Monnier or something.
No. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's not. I'm not telling you to go jam with Adrien Monnier. Then I would say, okay, maybe wait a little bit. But those guys, they want to jam with you, right?
Yeah. I just don't want to fall too hard on my face. We'll see.
You will.
No, I know, dude.
Yeah.
I've embarrassed myself in front of so many audiences, like music and otherwise. This is not coming from like fear so much as it is coming from experience. It's like a little more extra preparation goes a long way. So
yeah,
I'll get out there soon.
And me too, man. Hey, I played for 2 years with the Rosenberg Trio.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was pretty good, like compared to an amateur, but compared to the Rosenberg Trio, I was very, very bad. And I'm very happy this was before the time that everybody was recording every concert with their mobile phone, because if that would have happened, I probably would have stopped playing. So I know exactly what this is, how it feels, but I'm very glad I did it. Because the only reason I can play as fast as I can play now is because I did that. And
the jam? You mean the live?
No, with the Rosenberg Trio, with violin.
Yeah, right.
I had like 3 concerts a week, and I had to go on stage every night. And then the trio cut me out of all the fast songs. That's what they did at one point. It's like, it's too fast for you. But no, yeah. I was, it hurt, but I was also kind of happy that I didn't have to go on stage and play Cherokee at 320 beats per minute. But after 2 years, I said, so I can do it, let's do it. And I could do it. And then next concert, I was allowed to play the fast tune again,
Did you just like obsess over it when they were like,
yes,
I can see that. Yeah.
Nushi came to me backstage after a concert. I think we played After You've Gone at a ridiculous tempo. And I sucked. I was bad. I was doing my best, but I was like you in the sense, like, Or not like you. I was in a situation like you.
I didn't
like,
take that as an insult at all, by the way. Like I completely.
What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
What am I gonna do? And I prepared a little solo, prepared some things.
Yeah.
I still sucked. And then Nuji came to me and said, "Are we playing too fast for you?" Man,
Nope.
he was trying to be friendly.
Tempo's fine. Yeah.
But he was hitting me on the head with a hammer.
Right.
It felt like that.
Right.
So I said, yes, I think so. He said, man, next time you don't have to play that song. Meaning, next time you cannot play that song. Okay, so
yeah, let the big boys play.
But it taught me the value, for instance, of being able to play fast.
Yeah.
Because it's exciting, right? Because if people say, yeah, I don't want to play fast. No, okay, you don't want to. But what happens when you have
why wouldn't you want to play fast?
What happens when you have a gig with the Rosenberg Trio, or when you have a jam and somebody wants, you can play it. So, you have to fall on your face many times and just laugh about it.
Yeah.
The most important thing is that you're humble about it. Like, what invariably happens when you go to a festival, then you will get into jams with people that are worse than you.
Yeah.
But they are not humble. They play 5 choruses. They play very loud, right? As long as you know your place. Like, okay, I am a beginner,
Yeah.
But I will act like one in the sense I play 1 chorus. I never force a tune I want to play.
Yep.
Maybe at one point I can say, guys, can we play
Sweet Sue?
If they say
I'm
no,
just gonna crowbar that in there. Yeah.
If they say no, okay, too bad. But they're probably gonna see us. But if you're like that, then I promise you can even jam with Sebastian Genio, and he'll be fine with it.
Why? Why would I do that?
Because they've all been at that same place where you were there. Sebastian Genio said that he in the beginning, to learn how to play solo, there was no backing tracks yet on YouTube.
Right.
So he would just take recordings of I don't know, Django or whoever, Stochelo, and play solos right through Stochelo, right? And then he would record it, and then he would be amazed how bad it was. He was playing, So, and there's recordings of Sebastian Genio jamming with the young Adrien Moyard. They're still good, but they was nowhere near the level he's now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, look, hopefully at some point I'll be comfortable. I'm aiming for mediocrity for now because
Okay.
That's
good.
I mean, maybe not as a final step, but it's certainly a necessary place to get to first. So yeah, as far as humility goes, what am I here to, I'm not proud of.
Nah, you won't have the problem. I know.
There's no pride here.
No, you won't have the problem. I know that. I know.
Yeah.
You are, but you are too humble. Then let me say that you are too humble.
I just, when you're aware of how, of people who have worked very hard and have gotten very good, like when you're aware of that and you're self-aware, like aware enough that you know that you're not even close to where these folks are, how can you be anything but, humble about it? Like,
but that's good. That's good, man. Then that means that you get it. You get it. You get it. And that means also that people that have gotten it and are already good, they will accept you playing with them. That doesn't matter how you play because they can tell that you get it. They know that you understand how good you can get.
Yeah.
And that you're not there yet.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like there's people that are very bad, but they think they're at the level of Adrien Moyard. Right?
Which is insane to me. Yeah. I've seen it a couple times online and there.
See, every time, you know what? It's called jam killers. These people are called jam killers. And we start jamming, and a guy like that comes in, and then we all look at each other, and everybody knows, and then we play one more tune. Yeah. Sometimes we do it like, let's play something really fast that he doesn't know, stuff like that. We never say that, but that's what happens.
Right.
But if they still play, then usually guys, I'm tired, I'm gonna go get a drink. That's what happens. And you don't want to be that guy, but you're not that guy.
No.
So let me end or.
Oh yeah.
No,
I forgot that we're gonna put this on the it's not too late.
It's early.
I forgot we're gonna put this on the internet for people to watch. I'm just having a chat. This is awesome.
Do you have questions? Do you have a question for me? Because I was talking a lot and.
Man, nothing I can think of. I think it was more just wanted to see what would happen if we had a conversation. Happy to tell you my experiences. Happy to praise the books. Again, not getting paid for this, but
Not yet.
not yet. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you need an affiliate program, man. I think I sent a few people. I think just a dude practicing has sent a couple people over, which is great.
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't
Which
doubt
I'm
it.
happy to do. No, I don't know. I can't think of any questions right now. I'm sure as soon as we hang up, I'll have 10. But for now, man, I'm just working at it slowly but surely, trying to use the material. Trying to take.
Let
the
me ask you a
information
question
and
then,
dropping.
final.
Sure. Yeah.
Let me ask you a final question.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans in the future? It doesn't have to be near future to actually go to a camp festival, a thing where you meet other people that are doing the same thing that you are doing.
Well, I would like to go to Django in June, just because I used to live fairly close. I'm originally from near Boston.
Okay.
So I'd like to go there next year. Until then, not sure. I actually was considering starting some sort of festival here. Dennis Chang was here not so long ago, and I talked to him about it. And he was like, yeah, it's actually way more difficult than you think it'll be. He started telling me about visas and paying people, and I'm like, oh. So maybe I'll partner with someone who can do all that work, but I don't know. Nothing on the books right now, but eventually I'd like to.
We had a joke at the beginning that Dennis Chang was a certified Van Hemert system teacher.
Yeah.
we had this online joke for a long time. Anyway, okay. Maybe Django in June is a great thing to go. Yeah. I would also go to, if you can make it, to a festival that doesn't require you to have this teaching program. It's great because you learn a lot of things.
Oh, are they not all like that?
Where you can just walk around, and because that's a whole other experience. So for that experience, Django in June you should definitely go, but you should also go to something like Django Fest Northwest or Midwest, or Fontainebleau, the festival in France, of course.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
As a festival like that where you just walk around, there's no program, and you can just walk around, see other people jam. Because in Django in June, of course, that happens too. But it's always after the lessons, everybody's tired.
Yeah.
The teachers are tired from teaching. Everybody's tired from. So you don't get the same free feeling.
Yeah.
But still great. Of course, you learn a lot there. Right. You probably learn more there than if you go to another festival. But I would recommend going to one of those things.
Are you going to Django in June this year?
No, I was there. I've taught there twice. And he invited me again after the pandemic, but then because they wasn't sure if people could get in without with the visa, he said no. Then you have to arrange your own visa, and that's such a hassle.
Yeah.
But I think in the future, not a lot of people would have to come to Django in June from Europe because there are now so many great American players. Henry Ecker, what's the other young? Sam Farthing.
Sam Farthing's, he's great. Yeah. I've been watching his
So those
lately.
guys, and they are influencing other people around them. So, and for Django in June, of course, getting people from Europe is very expensive.
Yeah.
So I know, but maybe I might go to Django Fest Northwest.
Okay.
Just for fun.
Okay.
I don't want to be an artist because I don't want to have the visa. I don't want to do the visa thing anymore. But I might just go as for fun to check it out.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to. That's why I'm doing all this, because I want to use it all. I don't always want to just play on my couch, right?
Yeah.
I do want to get out there. I do want to gig. I've got opportunities I've got some people who are just waiting for me to go, I'm ready now.
I can give you a timeline. I can give you an estimation how long it's going to take you to become. Yeah. So this is based on your practice schedule and what I've seen. If you actually do the thing I said with jamming, try to get a monthly jam going where you meet some people and play, and go a little bit to festivals, I think it's going to take you about 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
To be at a level where you are very confident about your abilities to play okay.
I like the way you said that. Confident,
because
my ability to play okay, which is
to play okay,
great.
yeah.
What a great place Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's a great. I've been in that place for a very long time.
Yeah.
Now I'm at the place where I'm very confident that I'm gonna play good, not great.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
That's
There's
funny.
good,
Yeah.
there's great, and there is genius.
Right.
I'm very confident I'm gonna play good.
Hmm.
There is a chance that I'm gonna play great, but the chance is significantly smaller than the chance that I'm gonna play good. And with good, I mean that I won't fuck up.
Okay.
But
That's
great means that you play in such a way that you're proud of it in a sense like, man, I wish there would have been a CD recording. That stage, I can only connect to that feeling maybe once every 10 times I play.
why. Why do you think that is? Like, what's the difference? Is it not enough time? Like total practice time, or
One of the reasons is actually, and that it's kind of sound weird, but one of the reasons is because I work on so much different stuff. And I write these books, and I'm working on the bebop stuff, and then I'm working on Django 30s. So I kind of lose my. This is what I'm good at, right? If you're like Stochelo's not working on any new vocabulary anymore. He told me like, now I've stopped practicing like 6 years ago for new vocabulary. I only work on things that I have to play in a concert that are new or something. If you have your language down, like this is me, this is how I play, then. Something like Moses Rosenberg is a very good example. His style is Stochelo plus.
okay.
Stochelo plus George Benson, something like that, you know? That's his style. I don't think he's very particularly interested to play Django from the 30s things. He told me that, actually. He's not interested in that. He likes it. He's not interested. He's only working on getting that better. That specific formula that he has that's very unique, that is very recognizable, getting that better and better. And man, he's getting better and better. I should do that too. But the thing is, I'm addicted to finding new stuff. I'm just addicted to it, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like I'm getting into this, no, man, I want to know more about that. And then I go 100%, I transcribe like 50 solos.
Yep.
But it's also diluting my attention to detail, not to detail, but to things I'm already good at.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
So your curse is our blessing, all right? All of
Well,
us
it's
are,
great for
all of
people.
us are
It's for great
benefiting
people.
from
It's great
your
people that want to learn
teachings.
stuff.
Yeah.
I just made that mini blues course, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't plan on that, but it's because Alex Schaller asked me in Discord about if I could make a video about blues things, and then Gilles put up 8 videos I made about blues, and I started watching my own videos. It's like, oh, that's great stuff. I never played it again.
Right.
And I started practicing my ass off on those things, and I made a blues course. Why? I already played some really nice blues stuff. You know, and it's not my intention to be a blues player.
Right.
But now I've worked on that for like 2 weeks, like all day. That's not the way I'm gonna play, you know. So it's you know what I mean. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You're in a way spreading yourself too thin, right?
Yes.
Whereas other people who are they pick that one.
Violin. I'm
skill.
like that. I'm violin. I know how I play.
Yeah.
I like it. I never practice any new vocabulary, and so that's why when I'm violin, I'm very certain that I'm gonna play great. I'm just confident it's gonna be great.
Nice.
Doesn't matter if I'm prepared, yes or no. I'm confident that I'm gonna be great because I know the way I play, and I also know my weaknesses, so I know how to avoid them. I know if somebody says let's play Donna Lee, I'm gonna say no because it's in A flat, and I cannot play in A flat on violin the same way I can play in other keys. So I just say no. You know, so I am confident about my ability on violin, and the only thing that can happen is that I injure myself and I can't play anymore.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's gonna be great. Yeah.
Okay, in 3 to 4
I
years.
don't think I will ever. I never.
okay,
I don't think I will ever reach that stage on guitar. Actually, if I'm honest, I don't
Really?
think I will ever reach.
Really?
No, because I'm just too addicted to finding new stuff. It just. I don't see any scenario where I can turn that off. Actually.
But what is it that you're missing? Do you think? Like what's?
No, I'm not missing anything. If I just stop now and say,
Right.
okay, it's gonna be Stochelo, because if I'm honest, my style is like Stochelo plus Pascal Grasso. That is kind of my style, you know.
Okay.
It's a lot of Stochelo stuff, but there's some bebop flavors. If I accept that and only start working on like practicing like that,
Yeah.
So that means no new stuff,
Right.
right? just working on stuff I already know, then probably in 2 years I will have reached the same level. But I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to. I want to learn new stuff all the
Right.
time. It's just
So the different. Okay, so you said nine out of 10 times you feel good, 1 out of 10 you feel great.
yes.
So what's the difference there? Is it a fluidity? Is it like something where like you're just in the zone and everything's coming out easy
Everything
and well
connects.
timed? It's just all okay.
Everything connects. See, like I said, like when I play, I don't think. I only play what pops in my head, right? The problem is because I'm practicing so many things, some things will pop into my head that don't fit with whatever I'm playing, or it's too many things pop into my head, and I'm playing too many notes.
These all sound like great problems to have from my viewpoint.
Yes,
but
it's
I know what
great
you mean.
and
I know
not
what you mean.
great because when I hear Moses play, I'm basically hearing him play the same way every tune,
Right.
which is not bad. It's not bad. And there's still a lot of variety there. But all great players like that. Like when I hear Antoine Boyer has a certain concept of playing, right? Antoine Boyer is not the guy that plays bebop licks. It's not his thing. I promise you, if Antoine Boyer will start working on bebop phrases tomorrow, then he will start sounding worse for a time.
Yeah.
Because now he has to add this whole new thing. But he's not going to do that. Why would he do that? Antoine Boyer is a genius already, like he is. Like, he doesn't need to do that.
Yeah.
I also don't need to do it, right? I could stick with my style that I have, but I don't want to. I don't want to. I just love sitting down, transcribing, figuring out how to play it. I just love doing it, which is great for books. So
Yeah, man. I mean, that's what a great thing to love.
yeah.
Seriously.
So
All
hey
right.
man, thanks for the talk. We'll probably do
Yeah,
it
man.
again in the
Okay.
future.
Okay.
I'll keep watching your progress reports,
Yeah. I'll keep asking
reacting to
questions.
it.
Yep.
Got great views, I think, on YouTube for a video like that.
For something like that, yeah. You know,
Yeah.
some of my 2-hour practice videos have like 2,000 views. I'm like,
Yes, I saw that.
why?
Yeah.
Again, they only watch for 30 seconds, but it's strange. People are interested in the process, and it's so rare to see, right? Even though it's just like we
True.
know, sitting there and struggling, but it's like there's something refreshing about it, I think.
I like it.
Yeah.
I've never watched more than 5 minutes, but
Why would
sometimes
you? Yeah.
I skip and say, let's see what he's working on there. I think, oh yeah, I can see what he's working on.
Or you skip like 10 minutes ahead, 20, 30 minutes ahead, and like
I'll
suddenly
watch the chapters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've increased the tempo. I need to get a little bit better about chapters, but yeah.
See my cat interferes. I'll go watch that, of course.
I try to when I'm a little more energetic, I'll add some Easter eggs, things like that. But yeah, man. Hey, this is really
Okay. Let's see. It was long. This was long.
Was
I
it?
think. I think so.
Okay. I don't have a. Let's see.
There's some stuff I'll cut out, but I'll make a video on my YouTube channel also.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe I'll react to this, like, and see another me.
Yeah.
On top of it.
I was thinking about how to. I wanted to react to maybe your reaction, but I was like, yeah, but then I have to edit. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, maybe I'll just.
Yeah, you have to edit. Yeah.
I was thinking I could just turn my laptop to the camera, but I don't know. Maybe that's a little too old school. We'll see.
No. Okay. Keep your channel as is, but I
Yeah.
think how many subscribers do you have now?
700, a little more than 700.
700. I think your subscriber would grow more if you have some more edited content, though. Because the progress reports are great. The progress reports are great. You need more stuff like that, but you don't want to do it. So
Well, can I get your opinion really quick? I know we've been going on for a while, but so I've been considering doing like I don't know if it's a series or whatever, where I just talk to the camera about stuff related to practice. For example, like playing real music versus playing exercises, things like, how long should you practice every day? Because you hear this thing like all you need is 20 minutes a day and you can, learn whatever, which is nonsense. So I was thinking about doing something like that, but I like the purity.
Sorry,
of
like what
just-
exactly?
Oh, sorry. Just my thoughts on topics related to practice. Okay. Yeah. In a nutshell. So I don't know.
Why not?
But then I'm like, now I'm chasing, I didn't think I'd have any subscribers. Now I have a couple and I'm like, I want more. So
Of course you want more. Of course.
I don't want to get away from
more.
what the channel is, right? It's just a dude practicing. Like that's
but
all there is to see.
You can become a kind of institution in the sense because you're one of the first to do this. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting, and I think you could only benefit from growing that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's true.
I don't think it could distract you. Of course, if at one point it becomes like for me, at one point it was distracting. That's why I started the Discord and writing the books, because I want to get away from having to make content.
Yeah.
So if it becomes like that, like okay, I promised every week I do this. Keep it random.
Yeah.
But if you want to do it, because that's what I heard, you want to do it. You have this idea, then do it.
Yeah. Since the first week I started the channel, I was like, have this list of other videos. So
why not?
Yeah.
That's why I do it. How I do it now. Right now,
Yeah.
I don't feel any pressure anymore to make regular YouTube content. I just do it when I feel like it, when I think, hey, this could be fun. You know.
Yeah. Seems like a much more sustainable way to go about it. So.
Yeah, and it is, because I was getting not depressed, but fed up with making videos.
I'm sure, man. It's
but now it's fun.
It's emotional labor.
Now it's fun. Yeah, and now it's fun. And the videos I make now is for the books.
Yep.
But that's great because it's a product, but also it's stuff I want to practice. Because but YouTube was like, okay, I need another thing. Oh, let's do this solo, which I was not maybe interested in. I had to still do it, you know. So yeah.
Well, thank you again for everything that you're making, man.
You're welcome.
It's game changing. Absolutely.
I hope so. And I'll see you in the Discord.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm sure I might have questions, and I'll put up some videos of me trying to play rhythm soon, so you guys can take me to shreds and build me back up. I'm
going to close the stream, so I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. This is going to be the close for YouTube. So thanks, Gabriel, for being
thanks for
I want to say guest, but it's more like a conversation partner.
Thanks for the conversation.
And we'll keep watching your channel and see how you progress. And we want to see some vlogs of you jamming. Eh?
Yeah, I'm going to post it all. When I start jamming, warts and all.
Okay,
it'll all be up there. All right.
So
Thanks, man.
I'm stopping the stream right now.
Okay.